think that's too bright. That's good. What's going on? What is going on? Weird. Okay, so I think total. Buenos dias, wake up, wake up. You already know I'm the cosmic and I just spit on myself. I'm the cosmic in the house, love your soul, not your role. Listen twice and speak once. Today is Transcendence Tuesday. Come on in, say hello. Buenos dias, wake up, wake up. Come on, I'm not doing that. Buenos dias, thank you for the like, I appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Today is Transcendence Tuesday. I changed it from Transformational Tuesday because Transcendence has a much more deeper meaning to me in terms of what I'm trying to do with my soul. Love your soul, not your role. You already know. Come on in. Wake up. Wake up. I'm the cosmic here. So I'm going to start it off with the morning affirmation. I write them on my phone. I get them. I forgot what I was going to say. But let me see. I do get it from, well, I don't get it from, but I make it up. I write it down. And then I share it with, I ask Google Gemini to help me out, help me clean it up. So some of this stuff is from AI, but the original idea comes from El Casco. So wake up, wake up. Love your soul, not your role. You already know. Come on in, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Okay, so today's morning affirmation, Transcendence Tuesday. Made it through Majestic Monday. I wasn't on here yesterday. I've been working a lot with doing a lot of live streams on Facebook. There's two reasons for that. One, I have a lot of my family and friends that I grew up with that I want to share this information with. And two, they monetize me. And I've been on YouTube for like 10 years or more, and still haven't been monetized. Is that my fault? I don't know. I don't really care though. I mean, it's a great incentive. However, I have my own career, right? I got a job basically. So, I have income. Yay for that. But I'm here because this information that I have, that I've been learning, that I use to put myself in the position where I'm at today, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, is great. It is great, and I want to share that. I want to be able to assist or to give some information that maybe can help you, give you some words of inspiration that maybe you can utilize to evolve. And it's very important to evolve. Absolutely, it's people keep on saying, especially nowadays, the way everything is. There's nothing new under the sun. This is always going to happen on this plane because that's what this plane is all about. This plane belongs to the one that you know as Satan, right? So he is the owner of this plane. The creator doesn't care about physical or material events. That's why this is going on. All these things are going on because it is up to the owner of this planet, and he ain't going to change. You ain't going to change. What is going to change is the evolution of your soul. So being here physically, you're in a new dimension, and this dimension is, you have to acclimate to this dimension. This dimension has always been here, so you can't change it. People say, I want to change the world. It ain't going to happen. Change your own world, and you'll be able to change the things around you immediately. But in terms of this whole entire plane, or whatever you guys want to call it, flat earth, round earth, oval earth, it ain't going to change. It's going to be the same. All right? If it changes, it's going to do a change on its own, right? With assistance from the sun, which is the sun, and the moon, and you know chemicals in it, because it's a living being. That kind of change can happen. But in terms of social change and government change, we're owned by somebody, by something. And you have to realize that. So the only thing that you can control is yourself. Okay? This is a perfect day to shift your perspective and lean into the growth you've been working toward. Here's a powerful affirmation to set your tone for today. Come on in, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, you burn me. Bueno, aquí están la gente pidiéndome que diga cosas. Why is that? Okay, anyway, here we go. I am not the same person I was yesterday. Facts. I welcome the shifts happening within me, release the habits, and no longer serve my future, and step boldly into the next level of my potential. Today, I choose growth over comfort. So that's a morning affirmation. If you do this continuously, you reprogram yourself to be your own movement, to be your own foundation, to be your own experience. Like, you don't want to live the experience of others, because then you're going to skip out on why you're here. A lot of people don't know why they're here. If you're doing something that's natural to you, that you love to do, that's why you're here. If you're a singer, anything that's a natural talent. Books and paperwork is not a natural talent. Going to a freaking corporation is not. Learning how to sell stuff. Now, you got a person who knows how to sell stuff to people. The talent is conversation. The talent is the gift of gab. That's your talent. That's your gift, and that's your purpose. There it is. There's no need to question anything else. Whatever you're doing here, like if you're working with children, whatever you're doing, that's naturally talented, that's your purpose. You don't need to ask anymore. What's my purpose? What I'm doing right now. I've been learning stuff since I was a kid and teaching others. But, most of the time I really kept it to myself unless somebody was interested. They see me with a book. What you reading? That kind of stuff. So why this works today, the shift. Tuesday is often when the Monday adrenaline wears off. It's the day to prove your commitment to change. And here's the release. Transcendence isn't just about adding new things. It's about letting go of old versions of yourself. And the intention is by choosing growth over comfort, you give yourself permission to do hard things that lead to big results. So, hard decisions, easy life. Easy decisions, hard life. So that's something that I found on Facebook, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. That means a lot to my understanding of myself and my goals. Thank you, brother. So, these things I utilize on a daily basis. I learn things I listen to Carl Jung. I read his books about the shadow self. Been there, done that. I've been the shadow all my life. Been in the pits of hell more than once. So I know what we conceive and been taught what the pits of hell are. And really, the pits of hell is really your lower self, your lower dimension. Once you start learning that, you'll be free. You'll be free. That's the whole point. Hello. Hi, Cali8660. Thank you for saying hello. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Love your soul, not your role. This is what we're all about. Reconstructing, reconditioning the mental state, the physical, the spiritual. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you very much. I appreciate that comment. And as much as I am teaching, I am learning as well. I was a teacher. I was a teacher literally for 7 years. Thank you. Thank you much. I appreciate you very much. May the All Father watch over you all your days. So here's something that I like to talk about. Hard things that lead to big results. So we talked about that. Hard choices, easy life. Easy choices, hard life. Okay, micro shifts for your Tuesday. Reframe. So this is reframe a challenge. Instead of saying I have to do this, try saying I get to see how I handle this. Like everything that we been taught, like, oh, this is a problem. Problem is a negative term, which will lead you to feel anxious, which will lead you to feel inept. Thank you. Thank you so much. Don't make me cry. That was so nice of you to say thank you. So it will make you feel inept. So use different words when you're evolving. It's very important to change the way you speak because when you evolve, the way you speak, the words that you use are gonna catapult you into that person that you are, that you were, that was taken from you, and that you're returning to. Resurrection, you heard? Wake up, wake up. So instead of saying I have to do this, say, let me see how I can handle this. So if there's a challenge or an obstacle, then you are now able to utilize all of the things that you learned in order to overcome it. Thank you, Kelly. So audit your energy is something that's well to identify one small habit like mindless scrolling and swap it for 1 minute of deep breathing. Let's do that. I didn't do that before I began. So deep breathing. When you deep breathe, when you deep breathe, it releases a lot and it introduces a lot. The intention behind the deep breathing is also something that gives you either this should give you strength and power and focus and stability in all sense. So try to breathe intentionally at least twice a day. So your body does what it does. But if you do it, you're introducing communication between your intention and your body and your soul. Hi, KDemp25. Hello. So celebrate small wins. I always talk about that. You have, micro accomplishments, micro goals, and then you should have micro celebrations. That's on a daily basis. So, transcendence is a series of tiny victories. Acknowledge one thing you did well before noon. So, thanks. Thank you much. So, those are the affirmations and the actions for those affirmations, for that affirmation that we read earlier. So now we're going to go to, let's go to today's quote. I got a quote. I read this the same every day. Thank you for the like. I appreciate it. Because repetition is programming. So if you repeat, like working out, you go to you program your body. Everybody can program their body. Can you program your mind? Can you reprogram? Can you? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. A little bit of practice and daily involvement in that action. So this is a quote for today, real quick. Okay, here's a good one. This is Alan Watts. If you don't know who he is, look him up. His name is spelled Alan, as in Nancy, Watts. Hello. Want colors. I want underscore colors. Hi. Like, share, subscribe. So Alan Watts is equal in terms of information for me as Carl Jung. And there's a couple of others I can't really put their name, but there's one recently. Some other guy just started following and reading about. Totally forgot his name, but that's neither here nor there. So Alan Watts is a philosopher. Look him up on YouTube. He got some great teachings. I think he's I don't know if he's Buddhist. I don't really know. I can't remember, but check him out. Manly P. Hall is another one as well. He got this great book that I read. It was a really big, thick book. I think I read it online though, but it's a good book. Manly P. Hall. So this is Alan Watts. The only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance. That's today's quote. Again, I'm going to read it again. The only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance by Alan Watts. And we're going to go into Transcendence Tuesday. Home. This is my favorite part. Okay, the midweek metamorphosis. The week is young, the air is new, a Tuesday lens to change your view. The heavy weight of Monday's climb now softens with rhythm and rhyme. Growth is rarely a thunderous sound, but a quiet seed beneath the ground, breaking its shell to reach the light, trusting the sun after the night. Don't fear the shedding of the old, the stories told or plans on hold. For every leaf that falls away makes room for what you'll bloom today. I'm gonna read this again. Stand in the shift, embrace the grace, run your own race at your own pace. That's today's poem. I'm gonna read it again. Wait a minute, I haven't finished. In every breath and step you take, reflective prompt. No, that's like the follow up. So there it is. That's the end of it. I gotta separate these sentences so it can make sense when I read it. Okay. Today, ask yourself, what is one small habit I can outgrow this week to make room for a better version of myself? Can be something small. Doesn't have to be anything overwhelming. Don't overwhelm yourself. Micro steps, little steps to get to that big goal. Oh, and then you must practice daily discipline. Self-discipline is self-love. So you must practice daily. Let me read that again. See if I can get it good this time. This week is young. The air is new. A Tuesday lens to change your view. The heavy weight of Monday's climb now softens into rhythm and rhyme. Growth is rarely a thunderous sound, but a quiet seed beneath the ground. Breaking its shell to reach the light, trusting the sun after the night. Don't fear the shedding of the old, the stories told or plans on hold. For every leaf that falls away makes room for what you'll bloom today. Stand in the shift, embrace the grace. Run your own race at your own pace. Transcendence is a choice you make in every breath and step you take. There you go. A little better. I woke up. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. So now we're going to go into the Bible. We've been reading Judges. Judges is it's out of control. Only thing I remember, well, a couple of things I remember about it. Prostitution, and not in that sense that we know. Maiming people. And some woman put like a nail through her husband's head. Wild. Judges is wild. So we're on Judges 12. I'm going to use the same app I use all the time, which is this one, the Bible app. There it is, Judges 12. So if you have your Bible, join. I got the NIV version. I know. The NIV version is garbage. I know. I'm reading it. But that's why you read, so you can have your vision in your own point of view, right? Your own perspective. There's a must. If you have children, nephews, your people you love and you care about, tell them to read the Bible. First of all, it's a guide. Second of all, it's going to clarify a lot of nonsense. A lot. And also formulate more questions, which is good. Because if you have more questions, then you have more clarity when you get that answer to the question. Right? Cool. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to press play. He's going to read it. And then if we have any comments, or, something that I, heard, I'm like, yo, wait a minute, this is weird. Give me a second. And not necessarily weird, but, interesting to write down and to maybe investigate a little bit more. So the whole point of reading the Bible is the whole point after this that we're going to get a book of symbology, and we're going to read that. Because we're going to unlock what has been locked. Not by yourself, but by the entity that runs this planet. Does exist. It's not what you think it is. It's not what they told you. Some dude with horns and a tail. That's anime. Okay? Everything is within you. Everything. The universe, the innerverse, the microverse, the macroverse is all inside of you. All of it. Okay, bro. Thank you, man. Have some great rest. I appreciate your comment. Thank you so much. So here we go. I'm gonna press play. And again, if we have any comments or any questions or any, small things we want to look at, we'll do that.
Judges chapter 12. The Ephraimite forces were called out, and they crossed over to Zaphon. They said to Jephthah, "Why did you go to fight the Ammonites without calling us to go with you? We're going to burn down your house over your head." Jephthah answered,
See what I'm saying? We just started reading it, and they're trying to burn somebody's house over his head because he didn't ask them to go with it. Like, really? Because somebody said, I got this going on, I'm going to do this, whether it's wartime. And then, of course, that's not, you can't do that now. You got to report, right, to your admirals, to your sergeants, what you're going to do. But he didn't do that. So now they want to burn his house. What? See, that's the kind of stuff I'm saying. Interesting, to say the least.
"I and my people were engaged in a great struggle with the Ammonites, and although I called, you didn't save me out of their hands. When I saw that you wouldn't help, I took my life in my hands and crossed over to fight."
So two sides to the story. They're saying that he didn't call him. He's saying he did. So the conflicts within this tribe, the Israelites, I suppose, I think they are, because they're fighting against the Ammonites, and they are. That's who that guy is, part of the Israelites. So it's just interesting. Just listen up.
"The Ammonites, and the Lord gave me victory over them. Now why have you come up today to fight me?" Jephthah then called together the men of Gilead and fought against Ephraim. The Gileadites struck them down because the Ephraimites had said, "You Gileadites are renegades from Ephraim and Manasseh." The Gileadites captured the fords of the Jordan leading to Ephraim. And whenever a survivor of Ephraim said, "Let me cross over," the men of Gilead asked him, "Are you an Ephraimite?" If he replied no, they said, "All right, say Shibboleth." If he said Sibboleth, because he could not pronounce the word correctly, they seized him and killed him at the fords of the Jordan. 42,000 Ephraimites were killed at that time. Jephthah led Israel for 6 years. Then Jephthah the Gileadite died and was buried in a town in Gilead. After him, Ibzan of Bethlehem led Israel. He had 30 sons and 30 daughters. He gave his daughters away in marriage to those outside his clan. And for his sons he brought in 30 young women as wives from outside his clan. Ibzan led Israel for 7 years. Then Ibzan died and was buried in Bethlehem. After him, Elon the Zebulunite led Israel for 10 years. Then Elon died and was buried in Ajalon in the land of Zebulun. After him, Abdon son of Hillel from Pirathon led Israel. He had 40 sons and 30 grandsons who rode on 70 donkeys. He led Israel for 8 years. Then Abdon son of Hillel died and was buried at Pirathon in Ephraim, in the hill country of the Amalekites. Judges chapter 13. Again the Israelites did evil in the eyes of the Lord. So the Lord delivered them into the hands of the Philistines for...
So this is an ongoing theme in Judges where the Israelites are continuously doing evil in the eyes of their Lord. Then when they do that evil, they repent, they ask for forgiveness. He, their God, in turn, sells them or gives them away. And the term that's used is prostitution. Interesting to say the least. I'm not going to question it because really, I was kind of thinking about, not kind of, but I was thinking about why were my parents so evil, right? They were mean. They were super mean all the time. And I'm thinking, man, maybe they were reading this Old Testament and it influenced them to use an iron fist on whatever the case may be. Didn't want to hear nothing, didn't want to teach nobody. If you didn't do it my way, then we're not gonna spare the rod. We're gonna embed the rod lashes into your body so that you won't obviously, fall out of line. So I was just thinking that, reading this stuff, really corrupts your mind because the way they're handling situations just by killing everybody. Oh, you don't want to hear me? Dead. You don't want to dead. You don't want to go dead. This is what this book is about, Judges. And I'm tired. Listen, my mind can't take no more of this Judges. I can't wait till I'm done with it. I'm gonna read it. It's mandatory. But sheesh, how hard you don't see people talking about this book in the church. They don't talk about none of this stuff in the church. They just talk about things that they utilize to control you so that you can give them tithes, so that you can be forgiven. Forgiven for what? For the atrocities that were committed in Judges? Now I defend myself and it's a sin? Get out of here. So these are the things that is gonna wake you up. And then you're gonna go, I don't wanna be religious. I wanna be spiritual. Like I would say the archetype Jesus Christ. You are that Christ. Right? You are that spark, because that's what he was. He was an example of what we should be in order for us to be in sync with the nature of the world, of, this place. The devil Satan, whatever you want to call him, is extremely violent. You can tell right here, extremely violent. You can't go up against him. Not right now. He got missiles, nuclear bombs, planes, all that stuff, and you're gonna try to go against it. You can't. You cannot. He may take your body, but do not let him take your soul. Love your soul, not your role.
40 years. A certain man of Zorah, named Manoah, from the clan of the Danites, had a wife who was childless, unable to give birth. The angel of the Lord appeared to her and said, "You are barren and childless, but you are going to become pregnant and give birth to a son. Now see to it that you drink no wine or other fermented drink, and that you do not eat anything unclean. You will become pregnant and have a son whose head is never to be touched by a razor, because the boy is to become a Nazarite, dedicated to God from the womb. He will take the lead in delivering Israel from the hands of the Philistines." Then the woman went to her husband and told him, "A man of God came to me. He looked like an angel of God, very awesome. I didn't ask him where he came from, and he didn't tell me his name. But he said to me, 'You will become pregnant and have a son. Now then, drink no wine or other fermented drink, and do not eat anything unclean, because the boy will be a Nazarite of God from the womb until the day of his death.'" Then Manoah prayed to the Lord, "Pardon your servant, Lord. I beg you to let the man of God you sent to us come again to teach us how to bring up the boy who's to be born." God heard Manoah, and the angel of God came again to the woman while she was out in the field, but her husband Manoah was not with her. The woman hurried to tell her husband, "He's here, the man who appeared to me the other day." Manoah got up and followed his wife. When he came to the man, he said, "Are you the man who talked to my wife?" "I am," he said. So Manoah asked him, "When your words are fulfilled, what is to be the rule that governs the boy's life and work?" The angel of the Lord answered, "Your wife must do all that I have told her. She must not eat anything that comes from the grapevine, nor drink any wine or other fermented drink, nor eat anything unclean. She must do everything I have commanded her."
Now, through this understanding, what I'm looking at is that these fallen angels that came down with supposed Satan, right? That were all banished and they followed him. These are the ones that they're talking to now. Contrary to popular belief, not popular investigation or facts, people look at demons and they say, "Oh, they're evil, they're drunkards, they're junkies." They don't know they're not. They stay clean-minded. They're clean in the way that they do things. They're not dirty-minded. They inflict these thoughts through parasites because that's what they are. But they're not stupid. They're not dirty. They're so if you're looking at what you think an angel is, what you've been taught an angel with wings, a halo, handsome white person with gold hair, right? It's the same thing. It's the fallen. You get it? So these are the ones that are talking to these people. The creator is not interested in materialism because his frequency is way. It has nothing to do with material being. These angels and these devils and they're all material who have harnessed the power that was given, supposedly to them from the creator. They don't have to answer to nobody. They're not answering to him because if they were answering to the creator, do you think they would be doing what they're doing? Nope. They don't have to answer to him. So remember, don't look at these entities which are parasites. I keep on telling you that as what they depict to you in anime. That's not what they are. It's not what they are. They come to you. It tells you he comes to you is supposedly a beautiful man. When you're clean of mind and heart and soul, you're gonna see it in your conversations with others, in what you hear and what you see. You're gonna be able to discern what that means, and that's a good thing. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's scary. That's good. But remember, you can't be touched if you don't let nobody touch you at all. Again, they may take your body, your physical, but as long as they don't take your soul, this body doesn't belong to you. It's borrowed from the dirt. It's from here. You're encapsulated here. So remember, they don't do all this crazy, stupid, crazy stuff. They take the energy that you emanate when you do these things. That's what they feed off of. And then you continue to do it because they need the feed. The parasite needs that frequency, that energy of whatever it is, that whatever frequency they're in, whatever they need, whatever energy they need that you can give them by them controlling what you do, because they can't. So they utilize you. So remember that. Don't be thinking about, these guys with horns and the one with, that's all false. The guy in the sky with the beard looking down, all false. And once you realize that, you will set you can begin to set yourself free. This is magic. This is magic. It's a magical manual.
Manoah said to the angel of the Lord, "We would like you to stay until we prepare a young goat for you." The angel of the Lord replied, "Even though you detain me, I will not eat any of your food. But if you prepare a burnt offering, offer it to the Lord." Manoah did not realize that it was the angel of the Lord.
So to go a little bit deeper, the Creator doesn't need any burnt offerings because He is not a material. You communicate directly to the Creator through your soul, through your meditation, through your thought process, and that same thing is here. So you're connected. Por aquí, hasta allá, hasta abajo, everything around you. So He don't need no burnt offerings. Come on, that's like tithe. He don't need no money. What He need money for? You tell me when you go to church and you give money, what does He need the money for? They tell you to give money because this is a control system to put you under their supervision. And again, remember, there's nothing going to change on this plane. The only thing that can do that is you yourself.
Then Manoah inquired of the angel of the Lord, "What is your name, so that we may honor you when your word comes true?" He replied, "Why do you ask my name? It is beyond understanding." Then Manoah took a young goat, together with the grain offering, and sacrificed it on a rock to the Lord. And the Lord did an amazing thing while Manoah and his wife...
All right, I think this is the last comment I'm going to make. But if this Lord and His children ask Him for His name, and He denies to give them that because He's saying is beyond your understanding. But didn't you give them understanding? So beyond your understanding, a name. That's why He has so many names. He has so many names. So many names. Many, many names. The breath of life is the name of the Creator. Period. Give me a second. It is cold today. Hace frío. It's cold. So never ask why you have so many names, and then when I ask you what's your name, you're telling me that I don't understand when you gave me understanding. Anyway, let's go.
Watched. As the flame blazed up from the altar towards heaven, the angel of the Lord ascended in the flame. Seeing this, Manoah and his wife fell with their faces to the ground. When the angel of the Lord did not show himself again to Manoah and his wife, Manoah realized that it was the angel of the Lord. "We are doomed to die," he said to his wife. "We have seen God." But his wife answered, "If the Lord had meant to kill us, he would not have accepted a burnt offering and grain offering from our hands, nor shown us all these things, or now told us this." The woman gave birth to a boy and named him Samson. He grew, and the Lord blessed him. And the Spirit of the Lord began to stir him while he was in Mahaneh between Zorah and Eshtaol. Judges chapter 14. Samson went down to Timnah and saw there a young Philistine woman. When he returned, he said to his father and mother, "I have seen a Philistine woman in Timnah. Now get her for me as my wife." His father and mother replied, "Isn't there an acceptable woman among your relatives or among all our people? Must you go to the uncircumcised Philistines to get a wife?" But Samson said to his father, "Get her for me. She's the right one for me." His parents did not know that this was from the Lord, who was seeking an occasion to confront the Philistines, for at that time they were ruling over Israel. Samson went down to Timnah together with his father and mother. As they approached the vineyards of Timnah, suddenly a young lion came roaring towards him. The Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him, so that he tore the lion apart with his bare hands, as he might have torn a young goat. But he told neither his father nor his mother what he had done. Then he went down and talked with the woman, and he liked her. Some time later, when he went back to marry her, he turned aside to look at the lion's carcass, and in it he saw a swarm of bees and some honey. He scooped out the honey with his hands and ate as he went along. When he rejoined his parents, he gave them some, and they too ate it. But he did not tell them that he had...
I just have a question. I'm not an animalologist, but I've never seen bees. Well, we don't have lions over here. Create a hive in an animal carcass. Would they do that? I gotta figure that out. Let me check. So bees. I'm just interested in that. Hive. It might be true, but I just want to know for myself. That's an animal carcass.
taken the honey from the lion's carcass. Now his father went down to see the woman, and there Samson held a feast, as was customary for young men. When the people saw him, they chose 30 men to be his companions. "Let me tell you a riddle," Samson said to them. "If you can give me the answer within the 7 days of the feast, I will give you 30 linen garments and 30 sets of clothes.
Sweet.
If you can't tell me the answer, you must give me 30 linen garments and 30 sets of clothes."
What?
"Tell us your riddle," they said. "Let's hear it." He replied, "Out of the eater, something to eat. Out of the strong, something sweet." For 3 days, they could not give the answer. On the 4th day, they said to Samson's wife, "Coax your husband into explaining the riddle for us, or we will burn you and your father's household to death. Did you invite us here to steal our property?"
Do you see what I'm saying? Listen, I'm going to read that again. On the fourth day, they said to Samson's wife, listen, you talk to my wife like that, and I'm Samson, you done. You see what I did to the lion? I'm gonna do worse to you and keep you alive so that you can feel every last pull and push. And so on the fourth day, they said to Samson's wife, coax your husband into explaining the riddle for us, or we will burn you and your father's household to death. What? What? It, listen, the murdering and the types of murdering and the how do you say that? Like the threats. Listen, if you don't get the answer from us, we're gonna burn you and your father's household to death. What? Over a riddle. Now, do you think that makes sense? I don't. I don't. Is it a metaphor? That's weird metaphor. Really. You know? And this is why you gotta wake up, wake up. These people are showing you this stuff. You're reading and you're following this. And you don't even know why. We're gonna burn you and your father's household to death if you don't get the answer from your husband from the riddle.
Then Samson's wife threw herself on him, sobbing, "You hate me. You don't really love me. You've given my people a riddle, but you haven't told me the answer." "I haven't even explained it to my father or mother," he replied. "So why should I explain it to you?" She cried the whole 7 days of the feast. So on the seventh day, he finally told her, because she continued to press him. She,
Women.
in turn, explained the riddle to her people. Before sunset on the seventh day, the men of the town said to him, "What is sweeter than honey? What is stronger than a lion?" Samson said to them, "If you had not plowed with my heifer, you would not have solved my riddle." Then the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon him. He went down to Ashkelon, struck down 30 of their men, stripped them of everything, and gave their clothes to those who had explained the riddle. Burning with anger, he returned to his father's home, and Samson's wife was given to one of his companions who had attended him at the feast.
I'm done. So we're on 15. We'll follow up with that story tomorrow. Fascinating. Wow. They're going to burn his wife and father's house over the answer to a riddle. And then they gave his wife away. Wake up, wake up. Love your soul, not your role. You already know. Thank you for coming in. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I will see you with the All Father's help and support and love. I will see you tomorrow. And we'll continue these interesting and strange stories and judges. Love your soul, not your role. You already know. Wake up, wake up. It's on the cosmic. I will see you on the next.